Hello, everyone. We decided to do our SURE program project on mega detector coding, developing a workflow to improve camera trap image sorting. My name is Giselle Larios, and I am going into my second year, and I'm a biology major.
I'm Elise Cabaldi, and I'm going in my third year, and I'm a biology major.
My name is Marcos Ramirez. I'm also going into my second year, and I'm also a biology major.
And my name is Megan McCullough-Boozer. I am going into my senior year, and I am a natural science major with a concentration in biology, and I'm a minor in mathematics. We'd like to also give a special thanks to our advisor, Dr. Hall, and the Hall Wildlife Ecology Lab, whose pictures and data we used, as well as to ESRP and Dr. Cipher and all the information they were willing to share with our group and allow us access to.
Camera trapping has become a new way for wildlife biologists to conduct their research. Camera trapping benefits their research by being able to study their species without harming the animal with regular trapping and capturing. However, a downside to camera trapping would be the abundance of pictures taken. If the camera is not angled correctly, there is a greater possibility of receiving the camera back maxed out with only pictures of the landscape due to the trigger zone of the camera. Sorting through thousands of pictures at a time can become mind-numbing work, and after a few hours of picture sorting, you start to feel fatigued and start making human errors. Artificial intelligence software such as Mega Detector is tailored towards making picture sorting easier. Although it does not sort them by species, it is trained to recognize animals, humans, vehicles, and empty pictures through Python code. It then sorts them into their respective folders. While the code is running, you're able to work on other tasks without any issues. Coding to picture sort saves time in the lab, and that time can be used for other projects needed.
We had nine cameras set up all over CSUB campus. Every Thursday morning for the past 1.5 months, the SD cards were swapped and brought back to the lab. An SD card was plugged into the computer, and a folder was created within the card. The folder was labeled as site _ the data pickup in the form of year, month, and day, _ the first initial of the bait used at the site, and _ the camera placement. Once the folder was created, all files on the SD card were moved into the folder. A to be sorted folder was created on both the desktop and the blue Toshiba hard drive we used throughout the project. The site folder will be transferred to both the desktop and hard drive to be sorted folder. The SD card was then cleared and placed into the ready for field use box. This was repeated 8 more times for a total of 9 site folders in both to be sorted folders. Once all site folders have been transferred, the to be sorted folder on the blue hard drive was backed up onto a black hard drive, so both can be identical in terms of data stored. The desktop to be sorted folder's URL was plugged into the code used to run Mega Detector. Once some adjustments were made into the code was copied and pasted into Mega Detector for processing. Once the processing was done, a landing folder was created in Box, and a new code was copied and pasted into Mega Detector. This code was so Mega Detector could sort the files and place them into Box. Once files have been uploaded to Box, they were looked over and checked for any errors that occurred when processing and sorting, such as misplacing pictures into the wrong folder. The errors found were what helped determine the error rate for Mega Detector. Figure 1 shows the SD cards that were used for the cameras at camera stations 1 through 9, along with the blue Toshiba hard drive that was used to store one of the to be sorted folders. Figure 2 shows the Mega Detector process. The top left shows a desktop to be sorted folder opened with all 9 site folders in it, along with a Word doc that had the code typed out and ready to be put into Mega Detector, which is the dark screen shown. The top right shows Megadetector while it's processing pictures, and the bottom left shows the box landing folders that were made. The bottom right is a picture of a San Joaquin kit fox that was sorted into one of the animal folders created by Megadetector. Figure 3 shows Megadetector's average processing rate throughout the project for overall local hard drive and cloud box files. The overall processing rate was about 4 seconds per image, while the processing rate for the local files was about 3 seconds per image, and the processing rate for the cloud files was about 5 seconds per image. Figure 4 shows our Megadetector batch log. This is where we kept track of all the files we ran through Megadetector, including the file name, the date we ran it, the amount of time it took to run, and which computer Megadetector was run on. The tan highlighted files are the local hard drive files, and the blue-white files are the cloud box files. The red highlighted files are files that experienced an error while being run through Megadetector. These files had to be rerun through Megadetector.
When running code, problems can arise, such as coding errors. The most common code error we ran into was an invalid argument. Invalid arguments and computer not recognizing the get. With invalid arguments, usually you would have to go through and just rewrite the code. It's a simple fix. With computer not recognizing the get, usually you would have to restart the entire desktop, and then once it boots back up, it should recognize the get. Another problem that arise when we were running code is that when you're running code, when you have SD cards back, these SD cards come with thousands of files. These files can either be empty or can have animals. But because of thousands of files, it takes longer to run through Megadetector. So therefore, you would have to leave the computer running overnight while the code is running in the background. A problem that we had was computers would fall asleep after being on for too long. A simple fix for that was going into the computer settings and switching the sleep time or the turn off time to never. That fixed the issue of the computers going to sleep and not running the code while they're turned off or asleep. And we would have code formatting issues when we would copy and paste the code into the software. This happens because when you copy and paste code, there can be an extra space or a number or letter missing at the end or beginning of the code. Usually with this, it would tell you automatically that there's missing files or a non-existing file. This is also a pretty simple fix. You would go in, delete the space, or add the letter or number that's missing, and it will run as normal. And when we're running code, the estimated time for each photo was about 4 seconds. And when it's processing through the local files, it's about 2.9 seconds. When it's processing files from the clouds, it's about 3 to 4 seconds. It's faster when it processes the files through the local files, but it is a little slower when it's processing through the cloud. When we have SD cards coming back, they come back with thousands of photos. These photos get ran through Megadetector. The Megadetector detects about 36% of our blanks, which improves the rate of if someone was manually sorting the blanks into their separate files. Because when a person is sorting through so many photos at once, they get tired and could see something that's not there, or be trigger happy and see something that could be there or is not there. But Megadetector does a great job at sorting the files where they're supposed to go.
In conclusion, there is a learning curve when dealing with Mega Detector, and that has to do on the part of the researcher or whoever is doing the running the code. You do have to learn how the code works and understand the pathways for the folders. In addition, we found that certain computers really are not set up to run code. Mega Detector is a pretty beefy program and uses up a lot of resources. So you do need to have a computer with the correct capabilities, CPU, a good CPU, or preferably a GPU. Once we figured out the computer issues, as well as just kind of user error and that learning curve as a researcher, Mega Detector turned out to be a really excellent tool, improving timeliness and accuracy, as well as efficiencies for our lab. Specifically speaking to timeliness, when we are studying wildlife populations and conservation goes a little hand in hand. And so being able to understand what's happening in the population quickly allows conservationists to make interventions as necessary, like in the case of San Joaquin kit fox, which is our species of interest. We're looking at the mange outbreak and how that's affecting the populations. The sooner we can get back data, the sooner we can identify mange in a population, the sooner interventions can be taken by conservationists to go and potentially positively impact kit fox populations. In addition, we saw an increase of accuracy with Mega Detector, even compared to expert analysis. Not only was Mega Detector faster in their image sort, Mega Detector also cut error rate in half. We saw an error rate in some studies that showed expert error rate is at 3.4%, and Mega Detector cut that down to 1.7% when we went back through and edited and audited our images when we saw what Mega Detector should have sorted an animal into an animal folder. So in that case, we're working with a 98% accuracy in comparison with a 96% accuracy with experts. So that was really a positive thing for Mega Detector in our research. Increased accuracy, increased timeliness, increased efficiencies gives us better data for researchers and for people to be able to understand these populations, as well as just making your lab able to run with a smaller workforce. A lot of labs don't have necessarily the income to support a large workforce. Not all students are available year-round or have many hours free in their schedule if they're carrying a heavy load. So specifically for our lab, this is great for moving into school year, that we can use one or two individuals to help process images and actually process them faster and more efficiently and more accurately, which really enables us to hopefully move forward in data analysis sooner with our projects. We were able to work alongside some of the other projects in our lab, and they were able to analyze photos very quickly, bringing us all to understand that incorporating AI into our workflow is only beneficial when we're studying camera trap images. We'd like to thank, again, Dr. Hall's lab, ESRP, Dr. Cipher, and the SURE program for giving us this opportunity. And we hope that this was informative.